All right, so in this video, drawing dynamic poses, I chose three more poses from Pinterest. One being a girl with a samurai sword, second one similar, and the third one is a picture from the anime Naruto. And so for this first one, I tried to find some pose I'd never done before, and it was kind of hard to find because a lot of poses I pretty much had done a lot of them, so it's hard for me to figure out which ones I've done before, which ones um, that are older. And so I started with this one. So I chose one with her, holding the sword up. I have a few that's like this, but since this one is she's holding it a similar way, but her positioning of her hands is different, so I decided to just draw this one. And so I start out as usual with the head, going down the neck. I did the circle for the shoulder first before I did the circle for the body, only because I wanted to kind of draw the circle out for the shoulder to kind of, structure out the arm and get the arm straight, and then start to, work on the rest of the body. Because just, I mean, you're practicing and you're just throwing in shapes and you're trying to figure out where everything is going, and you're erasing these shapes anyway when you start adding details over top of them. And this is kind of just a way of laying everything out. So there's no real focus on which way you go first, or doing a specific thing. You can kind of just go any way you want. You can draw the hand first if you want. You're just drawing out the shapes. You're trying to figure out where to place everything. How everything's going, just so that you can get that base shape in there before you start adding details into what you're trying to draw. So I'm adding in the hand, trying to figure out the shape for the hand. Get the hand in there to draw it in. I'm adding in the stick form for where the sword is going to go. I usually draw the long stick out first and start to shape in the sword as I go. And it's just a way for my eye to see where the sword is going to go before I start adding details. That way I'll know where the sword is going, and then I start to draw things around the sword, whether the hand is holding the handle of the sword or tip of the blade, but something has to be physically there for me to know where to place the fingers and things like that when I'm adding in the other body parts. So you see I'm just adding in the other fingers to show we're gripping the sword, working the handle, adding in some small details just to kind of shape it out just a little bit. Now I'm just gonna add some slight details to it, drawing in some of the fingers, gripping the sword. And I'm doing the same method I've been doing before, where I just go in there, dropping those cylinders, or not really cylinders, but I'm just structuring out the fingers as I'm going to grip out the area of the sword or the handle. I like to always layer it out and separate them to create their own shapes. That way it's easier to draw the fingers out. And you'll see that when I'm doing my last picture with Sasuke, when I'm drawing his fingers, you'll see me break apart it in a certain way to where it's showing it. So right now I'm just adding in, finishing up some of the lines, darkening some of the shapes, erasing out some of those extra lines just to keep the eye from getting too confused. Or I can leave it in. I mean, whichever way you want to go. Now for this one, I chose because she has her hand is aimed backwards. She has the the blade is behind her, and she also is holding the sheath of the sword below, even though you can't see her arm because her arm is kind of hidden, on the other side. And so I just kind of just chose that because I wanted to draw from this angle, and since she's wearing like a schoolgirl uniform, as usual, it's hard to see the position of the legs, and so you have to kind of just guess where the legs are going and or how they're positioned when you're adding in the positioning for the legs, drawing the rest of the pose. So right next, see I'm adding in that the box shape. And for this pose, for the last pose, I went with more circulature for the body, and this time I'm adding a circle for the head, but start to structure in the boxes for the body just to kind of show how the body is angled in perspective, or not angled in perspective, well, in perspective, but how the body is kind of is tilted upwards because of the angle of the camera. And in that center line, I'm just drawing in the waist, adding in the little box. Where the bottom waist is, adding the legs. And I'm assuming her legs are kind of a little bit apart. One is bent a little bit, so I just added, one going a little bit forward. That's why I added a circle on one of the legs to kind of show the leg is kind of moving forward a bit, even though the circle is kind of on the bottom. You can't really see it too much, but I added like a little small circle for the right leg. I'm just adding in the little sword. Just kind of dropping it down, kind of just figuring out the length of it. So I can kind of see where it's going down, because the blade is, even though you can't really see it in the picture, because the blade is she probably has a blade going straight down or at an angle, or it could just be, the blade could be tilted further behind her. But also, since the character or the model I'm drawing is more of like a not boneless skeleton, but like a kind of like a nothing but shapes, no clothing. So you can kind of see the blade through my version rather than through the version of the image, since she's fully clothed, and you can't, and also the hair is blocking some of it, so you won't be able to see it anyway. I'm drawing the hand that's gripping the sword, adding those fingers. It's typically easy to do. You're just placing in like 3 circles for where the fingers are going to go. It's not really hard for adding it to that. Darkening some of the little blade a little bit, so you kind of see that. Darkening some of the lines, so my brain doesn't get too confused when I'm looking at this. Now for this one, I chose a pose of Sasuke, and I chose this one because he has his hand going out, and it's extremely foreshortened, and I kind of wanted to add one of these in there because I get a lot of comments for doing a lot more foreshortened tutorials, and also I've seen some comments of doing the full body tutorials, and the muscle anatomy tutorials, and I'll start getting back to some of those also in the future. So stay tuned for that. I think I started out the majority of my videos for this account with the how to draw muscle videos. I might go back to doing some of those, and also how to draw hair and things like that. And so with this one, I was figuring out the boxes for his body, and as usual, his body is the box is tilted upwards, and the bottom for waist is tilted a little bit down. I didn't draw too much on the inside. I kind of just was trying to lighten the inside a little bit. Didn't want to put too much inside. I wanted to have most of the dark lines on the outside. So in that center line, still trying to figure it out. Adding a circle for the shoulder, cylinder for the arm, and the arm is hidden, so I just drew like only a little bit of that. Now for the arm that's for shortened, I kind of just drew one circle where the shoulder's going to go, and I'm just overlapping shapes. I mean, you've seen me mention it before in some of my older videos where I'm just taking the shapes and I'm overlapping them. And for me, overlapping shapes is the best way to learn for shortened poses for anything. Whether you're overlapping shapes for the body, or you're overlapping shapes for drawing a car or a weapon and things like that, the shapes will always be overlapped when you're doing things like that. It can be a box or a square, and for the body or for the arm, in this case, would be circles. Now for the hand, you see I drew like a large shape, and you see, if you see a lot of my videos, you see me draw a lot of big shapes for the hand, and then I start to use that as a guide for where the fingers are gonna be placed. So I kind of drew this little huge shape that I know where the hand is gonna go. So I just start dropping in fingers where the end points are, and break it apart in the 3 different cylinders, like I usually do. The 3 cylinders there, 3 cylinders on the top of the finger. So I work my way down. Now with this finger, it's foreshortened. So when it's foreshortened like that, especially when it's extremely foreshortened where it's coming at you, I always kind of 3D it a little bit, making it in more of a box form. And a lot of artists have done this. If you've seen a lot of artists that draw their fingers that's pointing straight at you, it's usually boxed out in a way, because it's kind of an easy way to figure out how to get that finger foreshortened that's coming at you, because it's kind of like, it's a weird angle, especially when you're drawing hands. Hands get a little difficult, but drawing it, boxing it out is an easier way to figuring out how to draw a finger position foreshortened that way in a 3D space. So that's why you see a lot of times when I'm drawing a finger that's foreshortened that way, pointing at you, I'll box it out. Like you're basically drawing a long box in 3D, and then you start to, draw it out. And then when you start to draw the shapes, details to add it to make it an actual finger, where you're adding the fingernails and things like that, you know how to put the fingernail, because the fingernail will go on top of that, the top area, and you can work your way into creating that finger. Got the other hand in there, or the other finger in there. Darken it up a little bit. Adding in some slight details and some small wrinkles I'm just throwing in here and there. And part of the knuckle to the other finger. But that's it for this video. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share. And if there are any videos you want to see, just let me know. Take care.